GC Gamer here, and this is another episode of Football Manager 2016 Up the Pompey. We've had another few months of our career, and we've gone from the end of October to the end of January. The transfer window has now closed, so let's move on to what everybody really cares about during the winter transfer window, and that is the signings from the club. Firstly, as you can see from this news item, Joe Matic has left the club. Or actually, he hasn't even left yet, but he will be leaving on the 21st of February. The reason why is because I got a good offer from New York City FC for 375,000. Now, if you remember, I only signed Matic for 79,000, and even though he has been playing well, I do think that within the Portsmouth squad we have Adam Chickson, who's been playing equally as well when he has been called upon. So I'm happy to have Adam Chickson for the rest of the season and let Joe Matic go. Let's look at some other transfers, and it's interesting to see Joe Matic go, considering he came in at the beginning of the season. Another person that came in at the beginning of the season was Stephen O'Donnell. Now, Stephen O'Donnell has also left, and he's already left actually. He's gone to Inverness Caledonian Thistle for 180,000, and again, that's a good return considering he's a free transfer. He wasn't really playing because Hayden White has been absolutely fantastic. As usual, Hayden White is one of the star players of the squad, and I really didn't think I could put him out of the squad when he's playing a 7.31 average rating, and I was happy enough to let go of Stephen O'Donnell. That does mean that my second choice, Ola Aina, might get a bit more playing time, considering as he was third choice before. If we look at our actual transfers in, we'll see that we have a few new signings, and one of those is Warren Caddy. Now, Warren Caddy is a 20-year-old striker from France. Now, he hasn't got the greatest stats right now, and in fact, he really won't be playing much at the moment. However, he has got very, very high potential, and that potential is really what I signed him for. He signed on a free transfer, so even if it doesn't work out, I'm only paying him a small wage of 210 per week, and it won't affect me too much if he's not here come a season or two along the line. So I'm hoping he does end up being a very good player, but we'll see how he progresses. He's already started to improve his stats in technique, pace, stamina. And they're really good stats actually for an advanced forward, although it doesn't highlight pace and stamina for some reason. But I like to have pace and stamina as well as technique in any striker. Another signing which I'm really happy about is Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, he's already, this is a bit of a spoiler warning, he's already played 2 games with 2 sub appearances and scored 2 goals. Iheanacho is a legend in real life. He's been absolutely excellent for Man City when he's come on, and it's one of those things where I called him up, said, I want you on loan, you're going to be a key player, I need some striking options, and he came in straight away. So thank you very much, Kelechi-san. Also nice to see that he scored 9 goals in 20 appearances for Gil Vicente in the Portuguese Second League. My next signing is Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent is a winger. He can play on the left or he can play on the right. He can even play up front. Now, he's a young kid from Liverpool, and he's actually got really good stats. Again, I love to have pacey players. Pace and acceleration of 50 and 16 for this level is really, really good. Decent crossing, decent dribbling, and decent long shots, which isn't too bad either. It would be nice if his finishing could improve a little bit, but other than that, he's a decent player all around. He's scored 2 goals so far in his 8 appearances, and hopefully he'll have a lot more goals coming into the future. Although some of those were for Walsall, because he was on loan at Walsall previously, as well as being on loan at Rochdale. So he's had a lot of loan movements, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does here. Hopefully I can give him a bit more game time than he's had at previous clubs, because he is as strong as Kenneth McAvoy on the left, and he would be third choice under Mustafa Carayal and Will Buckley on the right. Now, Mustafa Carayal, I have no idea how to say this name. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. Mustafa Carayal is another player who I've just signed in the January transfer window. He can play on the left wing, he can play on the right wing, and I thought he was a bit of a bargain at 115k. Now, he's 29 years old, but look at that acceleration, look at that pace, good crossing, decent dribbling as well. And again, it's one of those things that in a winger, I really need crossing, dribbling, some pace and some acceleration. Um, Everything about this player screamed out, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me now. So I bought him for 115k. I really think that's a good price. He's played for Middlesbrough, he's played for Huddersfield in the Championship, so he's actually taking a step down. And I'm sure taking a step down will be good for him. He can come in, get some good goals, get some good assists, and hopefully be a key player for us for the next year or two. So that's really all of the signings that I made. The rest of the outgoings were basically loan players. So some of those players that I brought in previously, like Knudsen, like Robbie McCourt, went on loan in November. But really, that's all we had for the transfer news. It's interesting to see a few famous names here. We did try and get Freddie Adu. We didn't quite have the funds to get him, although he was interested in coming to the club. I'm sure personally this was more for nostalgia than anything else. Freddie Adu hasn't got the best stats on the game. Left wing, he would have played if he had come, and we probably would have signed him and not got Carayol, or maybe even not got Kent on loan. Second player we tried to sign, which didn't go through towards the end, was Joel Osorio. And Joel Osorio would have been another striker. Luckily enough, I'm kind of glad we didn't get him, because in the end we got Kelechi Iheanacho, who I think is a better player than Joel Osorio. Larnell Cole, another player we tried to get. Unfortunately, it didn't go through because he wanted very, very high wages that I couldn't afford. He ended up he's ended up having an offer from New York City FC, so he'll probably end up going to New York City FC. And Joe Matic is the other signing that's going out, as we mentioned previously. So let's look at how well the Portsmouth squad have done over the last few games. But to do that, I'm going to show you the selection info. So after the last 5 games, you can see that there's a few players who've been playing well. Watmore, White, as usual, is always playing well. Paul Coots has been playing well a lot. But other than that, there's not many players who have really made much of an impact. If we look at the average rating over the season, again, White, Foster Karski, those names you expect. Rossiter, Coots. Ben Close has been called upon occasionally, and he's played well. Matic, who's leaving us, but Chickson's not far behind. You see 705, 704, so not much difference there. Other than that, nobody above 7. Even Christian Burgess, who is usually quite reliable, only a 6.97. And youngster Adam May, who I have high hopes for, has been doing pretty well. He's been improving a lot, and really I'm hoping that I can give him more and more game time. I didn't give him any game time really last season. He went on loan to Dover, which is where he played a lot of games and did very well. And I'm hoping I can give him some game time this year, because I really do think he's one of those guys who's got a lot of potential, and he could be a key player in the future for Portsmouth. So potential to be a Sky Bet Championship central midfielder. I think he could do that. I think he really could. So I'm looking forward to him. Will Buckley hasn't been quite as good since I signed him. He's an older player. He's always had those injury problems, as we've highlighted previously. He's got injury problems all the time. A pulled hamstring in December, a dead leg in January, and really it's one of those things that I just expect him to be injured more often than not. His stats are still improving, which is interesting considering he's had so much problem with injuries, but still I'd expect him to have scored more goals, especially as he's a very, very good player for this level. He's a leading player for most Sky Bet League 1 sides. Other than that, you can see the other stats of players. Gail Bigrimana hasn't really impressed since he's come here. Kenneth McAvoy, he's decent enough, but again, nothing too special. So, let's have a look at our fixtures. Since October, we have been absolutely dreadful, like woeful. Since our last episode where we drew 1-1 with MK Dons, we have literally won 2 games, and one of those was in the FA Cup, which we really don't care about. So we won in the FA Cup with a Will Buckley goal. Uh, it took us another month or over a month to win another game, and that was Mansfield away with Nathan Delfonso scoring the goal. But apart from that, we were just woeful. It's just it's it's frustrating. Kelechi Iheanacho's come in. He scored a couple of goals, like we mentioned before. But look at that list. Look at that list. We've got Brett Pittman, Kamara, Buckley, Karski, Chickson, Delfonso, Ferus, Iheanacho. But every game, it's like we can only score one goal. We score one goal and then we sharp shop. That's not even what I would try and do. I don't put the tactics on defensive. So I'm not sure what the problem is right now. I've looked at changing my tactics slightly, but I haven't really implemented that too much. Still trying with the same tactic as I have been. I think some of it is down to morale. We seem to have average to low morale quite often, so I've got to find a way to get all of the players fired up. Good team talk. Maybe give them the old Alex Ferguson hairdryer treatment. Tell them to buck their ideas up. But apart from that, I've just got to keep on pursuing some good transfer targets whenever I can get them. Keep on looking out for loans and see what I can do to get this squad back on target. At the end of the day, it's our first season in League One, and we're 15th. We're not in trouble of the danger zone too much. Still 5 points away from the danger zone. Hopefully we don't drop any further down, and I would honestly be happy with a mid-table. Somewhere between 10th and 15th would be nice at the end of the season. If I was able to get into playoffs, great. If I was in the relegation zone, I would be absolutely devastated because we've got the quality in our squad to be better than where we are right now. So hopefully, with a few wins under our belt, try and get a good run together, and hopefully we can win some games. The board are still happy with me. We've got a little bit of transfer budget left. We're over our wage budget, but I'm not going to change that right now. And previously, I forgot to mention, we did improve our facilities, youth facilities. Now, something I haven't really looked at too much with you guys on YouTube is our transfers, but not just our transfers of staff. So, we got in Steve Wales as a scout at the beginning of the season, which I never really mentioned to you. He's a good scout, 15 potential judging player potential, 15 judging player ability, so I was happy to get him in. But the most important one, and the one I really think could make a big difference, is I got Sergio Rojas from Tours FC. He comes in and he's got great judging player potential, 16, good judging player ability with 14, and the most important thing is he's got lots of knowledge of Argentina, Uruguay, France and Paraguay. How does that help? Well, it was Sergio Rojas which gave me the ability to sign Warren Caddy. So Warren Caddy was somebody that he had scouted previously, I believe, and when I signed Sergio Rojas, he gave me a list of players he had scouted. Also, as soon as you sign a staff member from a foreign country, you get extra people that you can scout from the player list. So what that means is now, if I go and look at nationality, and I go to French, there's a lot more players that I wouldn't have seen on here before that now appear on here because they're known to the club. So this is the club knowledge, and you can see we have some knowledge in Argentina, some in France, and a strong knowledge, which is the green in the UK. So again, if I go to South America and Argentina, I wouldn't have had all of these players before, like Sebastian Rojas wouldn't have shown up. Valentin Vara wouldn't have shown up if I hadn't have signed Sergio Rojas to a contract. So I'd recommend, if you're out there watching this video, to sign some scouts from different countries, upgrade your scouting knowledge a little bit, and try and get some foreign players in. So hopefully I can do more of that as the seasons progress. So, other than that, as you can see, we've had a bit of a tough time of late. I really do think that we can pull it off and we can keep in League One this season. I don't think we'll be getting promoted. I don't think we'll be getting relegated. But The only way to find out is to keep on watching. I really appreciate all of the watchers. I'm getting a decent amount of views every day, but I would say that I would appreciate a few likes and a few comments. Even if it's criticism, I'm always welcome to it. I love to hear what you guys think of my Football Manager career, and if there's anything in particular you would like me to show you more of, say less of, do more of, whatever it is, just please comment below. Thank you once again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll keep on making these videos.